They seem to learn rather quickly. All right, Spock, you have all the answers. What now?
Omega tone is increasingly hostile.
My tone is the only thing that's hostile, Mr. Spock.
Curious. Most illogical.
And I'm sick and tired of your logic.
We could use a little inspiration.
Strange.
Hello everyone, I'm Johnny, and today we're taking a look at a fantastic classic Trek episode, the Galileo 7. Spock's in charge for this one, and we'll find out if logic is enough to make a good leader. The episode starts out with the Enterprise en route to Macus 3, carrying critical medical supplies. Their course leads past Murasaki 312, where an unusual quasar-like formation exists. The Enterprise has 2 days of extra time before rendezvousing at Macus 3, so the crew decide to investigate this rare scientific opportunity. High Commissioner Ferris is on board. You can tell he's important because of his little cape. He is supervising the transport of the medical supplies and objects to any detours, but Kirk presses ahead anyway, as there should be plenty of time to do both, right? For the investigation of the quasar-like formation, a shuttlecraft will be used, commanded by Spock with 6 other crewmates, including Scotty and McCoy. A quasar is an extremely bright and distant object, at the center of a young or active galaxy. Short for quasi-stellar radio source, it is powered by a supermassive black hole surrounded by a hot, glowing disk of gas and dust. They are some of the brightest objects in the universe. This particular quasar disables the shuttlecraft, throwing it off course where it crash lands on a planet in the region. The Enterprise is unable to track the shuttle due to radiation from the quasar, rendering the sensors nearly useless.
Nothing happened.
Mr. Sulu.
Yes, Captain.
Anything on your scanners?
Totally inoperative, sir. No readings at all.
Have you tried tying into the auxiliary power?
Yes, sir. No change.
What unfolds is a series of trying leadership tests Spock will have to go through. Firstly, and likely the most entertaining for us, is the dilemma facing Spock and the maroon crew of the planet's inhabitants, a hostile species of giant ape-like creatures.
Did you see what it was?
Vaguely, it's like a giant ape.
Poor Latimer.
Well, at least it was quick for him.
They're kind of a mix of sci-fi spooky with great sound design and 60s sci-fi cheesy with their costumes and props. They are capable of throwing large boulders and giant plastic and foam spears, lightweight, but also deadly. Lieutenant Latimer is killed by one in the crew's first contact with the species. This puts Spock under immense pressure to find an immediate solution to escape the planet. It was discovered that the shuttlecraft might have the fuel to escape orbit if the weight of the shuttlecraft was reduced by a few hundred pounds, or basically 2 crewmen. With one dead, that makes the dilemma slightly less complicated, but certainly more emotional, not Spock's strong suit.
What a mess.
Picturesque descriptions will not mend broken circuits, Mr. Scott. I think you'll find your work is cut out for you. Galileo to Enterprise. Galileo to Enterprise.
The episode is designed to highlight the failings of commanding only from a logical or rational perspective. Spock at times faces near mutiny when discussing options with the shuttle crew. I personally view that this episode underscores the failings of the crew more than it does Spock. Emotion and certainly empathy are indeed an important part of leadership, but this is a high-stakes life-or-death situation. Spock offering rational, calculated solutions would in fact be rather comforting leadership when people are panicking or losing their heads.
I am a logical man, Doctor.
Well, it'll take more than logic to get us out of this.
Perhaps, Doctor, but I know of no better way to begin. I realize that command does have its fascinations, even under circumstances such as these. But I neither enjoy the idea of command, nor am I frightened of it. It simply exists. And I will do whatever logically needs to be done.
Spock's discussion of who to leave behind would further be comforting knowing it would be a calculated assessment based on survivability of the shuttle and the man left behind, and not a decision based on pulling straws, or even perhaps favoritism. One of the more interesting scenes is when Spock is clearly unwilling, or at least uncomfortable, performing funeral rites for Lieutenant Latimer, and Spock asks Bones if he would be willing to do this. Bones fires back at him that he should be the one to do it.
Doctor, perhaps you know the correct words for such an occasion.
Mr. Spock, that's your place.
My place is here. If you please, Doctor.
Now look, we may all die here. At least let us die like men, not machines.
By dealing with first things first, I hope to increase our chances of staying alive.
This episode is a prime example of Bones and the other officers present on the mission of alienating Spock. I'd even go so far as to say the episode shows more concerning leadership from Bones and other officers than it does Spock at times. Spock's attempting to command using his strengths in handling the emergency at hand. It's perfectly reasonable for him to request help from other officers in areas he is not proficient in, such as in an emotional burial. Two other decisions of interesting note take place in this episode. A strong leadership moment from Spock is when he has to rein in the away team from directly attacking the hostile giant ape species. He notes that these are a sentient species, and their lives are of equal worth to theirs. This is a great moment of ethical leadership, and he is correct. The shuttle crew are the intruders, the disruptors here. They must limit their impact on this species, who are likely only trying to defend their territory. There is, however, a glaringly bad decision Spock makes, but this is classic Trek. Spock needlessly and basically sacrifices Mr. Gaetano when he orders him to stand watch in the fog by himself, only shortly after Lieutenant Latimer was killed. Of all the blowback the crew and Gaetano give Spock in this episode, it's the one time he's kind of chill with an order. I like how Lieutenant Boma kind of gives him a nice knowing you pat on the back as he leaves. Overall, the messaging within the episode is kind of hit or miss. There are moments where the crew is behaving completely unprofessional and irrational, and moments where Spock might be a little cold or irrational himself. But otherwise, I'd say his stoic leadership actually shines. But I don't mind the mixed messaging at all. This is an emergency situation, and each event that unfolds is interesting within itself, with no perfect solution. No leader, no matter the skill, is going to make all good or all bad calls. I want to further highlight this episode as a really great prop episode. These classic shuttlecraft always make for excellent centerpieces in any episode. Everything in the 60s was all about sliding and hidden panels. This was the future. Sliding doors, hidden phaser panels. It's a good time. Speaking of time, you also got a kind of laugh at Yeoman Mares throwing herself down on the shuttlecraft's floor, as though in a cover from an old romance novel. I guess that's the 60s. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. Do like or subscribe or comment or whatever. But most importantly, do take care. Have a nice rest of your day.